Bassheads, what's good? Today, I'm going to do a quick live stream and talk about major scale shapes and different positions of the major scale. And I'm going to use this fretboard tool to show you how this works and how you can use it to visualize different parts of the neck. Now, I just installed a new cursor tool that I'm getting used to, so bear with me as I learn the ins and outs of that. So let me just give you a peek at the tool. Now, this is the version of the tool that is within Groove School. There is a free version that is linked in this live stream in the description section of the live stream. And so give me 1 second here. I am wondering how this little cursor thing works, but you know what, we ain't gonna worry about that. We're gonna keep pressing on. So here's how it looks. For our example today, we're gonna use the key of C major. When you take a look at it, you can choose any key. All right, but we're going to look at C major. Alternately, you could look at different modes. So with C being the root, if you looked at C major as, I'm sorry, not C major, but if you looked at the root note C, the root note C, as Dorian, that would be the Dorian mode of B flat major. Okay. So that's C Dorian, but we're highlighting the B flat major scale as well. But let's go back to Ionian mode, and you see that it changes here now. So what I'm going to do is show you how this all corresponds. Now, there have been a lot of more than I expected. People coming on asking for stuff for 5-string. I usually play 5-string, but for YouTube, I've been trying to do a lot more 4-string stuff to make it more accessible. But here's the thing: the low B string is just, in my opinion, is just another string. So I'm going to show you this a couple of different ways. Now, if you are playing 5-string, all you do is click on that and choose 5-string, and there we have the 5-string shapes. All right, so the first shape we're going to look at, I'm going to go back to 4-string first, because I want to show the 4-string shape first. Now we have our open strings here, E, A, D, and G, and our first fret. So let's say we looked at just this area right here. Matter of fact, why don't we just do this? You see, that's one shape. There's one shape. Now, if I was only looking at closed strings, I could see this area as one shape, starting with the note F. Or I could see this block here. Then we would come here to this block, and we're going to go through all of them. But then there's this block, and I am going to have some fun with this cursor as well. And then there's this block. Okay, so let's focus right here on this area. We'll call it an open area right now. Okay, so we're going to play open strings. Again, I'm only going to play, I'm looking at the 4-string shape right now, but then I will go to a 5-string shape. So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Now, if I'm thinking if I'm playing a 4-string, I played all of the notes of the C major scale. I'm in the key of C. A mode is simply starting that one scale from a different note. I mean, that's a very ground floor explanation of what a mode is, but that's what it is. So E, F. E is the third note in the key of C, so we'd be playing Phrygian mode. I'm going to change the diagram to 5-string. And again, we're going to still focus on where we can play these. We're going to focus on like right here, this area here, these first 3, actually here, open strings in the first 3 frets. All right. But my lowest note is B, that is in the key of C. That is Locrian mode because the lowest note is B. The lowest note is B, which happens to be the 7th scale degree of C. Locrian starts on the 7th scale degree. But here we see when we resolve on C, we can hear that, we tonicize it and we can hear that whole thing. Let's go to the next shape. Let's say we go to the first closed shape and look at 4 frets. Now, in this man's opinion, we could probably look here, but let's just go this first 3 closed frets. 5-string shape. C, D, E, F, G. Sorry, I don't like that. So we'll go this shape. So this would be a first finger shape, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. See what I'm saying? Now, you know what? Let's take and move our first finger to D and do that same thing where we have 3 notes per string. Let's do that. So 3 notes per string. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Now we're going to move up to the next position where we can use 3 fingers. 3 notes per string. 3 notes per string. So we're in this area here, starting at the 5th fret. Again, Phrygian mode, right? Because we're starting on the 3rd scale degree. One cool thing about this is you can see the notes of the scale on one string. So if you look at the lowest string, in this case B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. You see the entire scale on one string. That was a horrible fingering, but so we left off on E. 3 notes per string. It'll look like this. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, D, E. Now, when you start really like paying attention to these shapes, that's G, right? Where else do you see that? Where else do you see this? I'm sorry. So you start seeing these shapes repeat over and over on the neck. And having this visual helps until you get it sort of locked in your own brain, right? So let's go on to the next. Let's say we start with F at the 6th fret of the B string, right? Again, if you're playing 4-string, all you have to do is account for that and ignore the B string in this case, right? But there is a drop down here where you can change to 4 or even 6-string. So F, G, A, B, C. Now watch this. With that 3-note per string shape or idea, 1, 2, 3 notes there. Now once we get here, this is a shape that most of us are familiar with. Most of us are familiar with that. So I hope that you can see how this diagram will help with will help you to visualize these shapes. Let's go to the next set. Where else, if we were thinking 3 notes per string, starting with the first finger from the lowest note, the lowest string, then that would be starting with G, right? So I'm tripping. Look at this. Right there is, where have we seen this shape already? Where have we seen this shape already? We've already seen that. We've also seen it here. So these shapes start to repeat in your, under your fingers and in your mind and in your ears. They start to repeat, and then you can remember them, right? You remember a little bit better, and they aren't so like daunting. So first finger, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And if you're playing, all the notes in that scale, like I said before, if I start on E, for instance, and I resolve on E, it's going to give it more of that, where I come to rest is going to give it more of that feeling of the Phrygian mode. However, if I play up that mode, and go all the way back up to the tonic of the key, I'm going to feel that resolution of that tonic. All right, I hope that makes sense. Now, another cool thing about this tool is you can ask it to analyze every key that you are working in. Now, so far I have not found I have not found any bugs in this particular part of the code. So so everything is doing what it's supposed to do, but you can see that you get the an analysis. I will work it out to where it's a little bit more better spaced out and things like that. But you'll get that analysis. Let's say you want to focus on a chord type, right? So in this case, again, if you hit the drop down, you can choose all chords, all of the main chord types. But now we have the C major triad highlighted. You can analyze that, and you'll get some information about that. This version of the tool is inside of Groove School. This has got this version of the tool has got a lot of different things, and this is actually an earlier version. So the version that's in there in Groove School now is actually much more robust than this. Okay, so you get your lesson right there. And of course there's some gamification also. Okay, so you can my cursor's kind of bugging out. C, and then you'll get some feedback there, right? D. Oh, my cursor. D, right? So that's how this game works. F. Also, what you start to, as you do things like this, what you start to realize is that, let's look at these C's. The 12th fret is where everything starts over again at the 12th fret, right? But C is the note. There's only one instance of C on each string below the 12th fret. And guess what? That's going to be the same for every note. For every note, right? There's an A here, an A at the 5th fret of the E string, an A at the open string, and at the 12th fret. There's an open, I'm sorry, not open. There's as you guys can tell, I'm very, very tired. There's a at the 7th fret of the D string, the 2nd fret of the G string. So what I have found, someone asked a few days ago, they were like, how did you get to know these notes and where notes are? And the analogy that I always give is that when you see a note, say the note. When you see a note, say the note. It's no different than someone who is a person in your community. You may know them from certain characteristics, and then you can either not bother to get to know their name, or you can ask them what their name is, and they tell you what their name is, and then every time you interface with that person, you make it a point to say their name. There was the story I told the other day was there's a woman that works at a grocery store not far from my house, and I would see her all the time. Very nice lady, and we would have these conversations, little quick conversations. Cashier, we would have these quick conversations, while I was doing my stuff, and I didn't get her name, and then I was like, "Wow, that's a shame. You see this woman all the time. Why wouldn't you know her name?" So then once I learned her name, I made it my point to say her name every time I saw her. Every time I see her, "Hey, Miss Gloria," You know what I mean? She calls me Teddy. So, you know, you get the picture, right? So the notes are the same thing. You see a note, say a note. See a note, say a note. Make sure you're saying the right thing, of course. But, you know, there are also lessons. Okay, again, this version of the tool is inside of Groove School, but there are lessons to help you get through this, and you can even generate practice ideas as well. All right. So the app on the screen is inside of Groove School. It is inside of Groove School. There is a free version of it that's linked below this video. And let me see if I can put it in the chat. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, and I will get that link for you. And I'll put it in the chat. You're quite welcome. Guys, also, if you choose to not be a Groove School member, that's cool. There's no pressure on that. However, there is a Buy Me a Coffee link on this site as well. So there's the link. There's the link there. Groove School, circle of fourths and fifths, circle of fifths. Okay. Again, it is linked below. And, if you would be so kind, if you find this helpful, down in the corner is a Buy Me a Coffee link. All right. You can just click on that cup of coffee and use that link to show a little love. On this version of the tool that is not in Groove School, this version is centered around the circle of fifths. You choose a key, you get that key information. You get all that key information. There are mini lessons here, mini free lessons here. There's a quiz. There's the Pocket Scientist, where you can ask burning questions about music theory. And there is a light version of the fretboard tool. This is a light version of that tool. Right? The things that you can do with this one are a little bit different than what you can do inside of Groove School. You still have the options for 4-string, 5-string, and 6-string. It's all keys, and you can highlight the associated major and major seventh arpeggios. Cool. All right. It has been a long weekend, and I'm going to go get some rest. That's what I'm going to do. But you guys know where to find me. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you, chiming in. I hope that this brief lesson about major scales, major scale positions has been helpful, and I will catch you guys in the next video or live stream. Look, like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, hit that bell for notifications. Remember, it ain't rocket science, it's pocket science, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. Peace. 2 fingers.